So my wife and I decide today that we're going to go out for lunch. We don't really get a whole lot of time to spend together, being that we both have very busy work schedules. So we figured, we're going to go out, we're going to go do some shopping, and we're going to go grab something for lunch. So we decide to go to one of our favorite restaurants. We get there, we go in, the hostess says how many, my wife says two, and then she takes us back to our seats. Now the restaurant wasn't that busy, it was a lot of people there, but for lunchtime, it really wasn't a packed place. So there were plenty of seats available. And the seat that the hostess takes us over to, let's just say it wasn't really quite measuring up. It kind of was in a corner that kind of seemed like they ran out of space in the restaurant and didn't know what to put there, so they put a tiny booth. Now, some of these seats you kind of can get away with small parties. This one was definitely not going to be the case because of the fact that it was one of those seats where the table was attached to the wall. Now my wife sits down, she gets in, okay, no problem. I go to sit down and I don't even get like a foot bent down to get into the seat when my leg is smacking into the side of the table. Now immediately I stood back up, looked right at the host and said, nope, this is not going to work. And she just kind of stares at me like, it's not? I know I'm not the smallest guy in the world, but I also know I'm not the biggest guy either. And this restaurant definitely does see its fair share of oversized individuals. And this is the thing that kind of bothers me. What is it with these restaurants when they try to put all their seating arrangements in, when they're coming up with their concepts of their restaurant, that they don't take into consideration large people? Overweight people, obese people, even people not even necessarily overweight or obese, people that are just large, people that are tall, people that are like big, weightlifters, things like that, people that are big. Our country is full of different shaped, size, tall, short, big, small people. Now, I understand that restaurants try to design their seating to fit as many people as possible, but I know for a fact that it is not that difficult to, when you're making your seating, to, let's say, for example, not attach the freaking table to the wall. I mean, why is it so difficult to just leave the table freestanding so that people like myself can get in, move the table out, sit down, move the table back? It doesn't take up that much more space. And yet, for some reason, these guys got to figure they have to freaking super glue the damn table to the wall so it doesn't move. Because God forbid somebody comes in and steals their table, especially with a lot of these restaurants, and you know who you are. As soon as you show up, if you have to wait for your seating, the hostess is like, hey, would you like to see our menu? And you're like, sure, let me browse through it so I can actually order my food quicker once I sit down. And then once you're looking at the menu pretty much says, hey, Chubby, welcome to our restaurant. But then as soon as you get to your seat, the seating says, hey, Chubby, go away. All I'm asking is for a little bit more consideration by the hostess and by the restaurant staff, maybe by the management or even the people that are designing these restaurants, the owners of these restaurants. Just be a little bit more considerate. Maybe a little bit more training wouldn't hurt for people to like, hey, you know what? That person is a little bit bigger than normal. Let's just find out what they want. Let's just make sure they're comfortable. And hey, if they're more comfortable and they like the experience and they like the food, maybe they'll be willing to come back and recommend our restaurant to somebody else. Just my thought.